recovery. I heard there are some antidotes, if you will. There's certain chelating agents, perhaps diets. What are we doing to promote that, since the populations are so big and they're getting bigger? And I'm not sure that the mercury elimination is going to be here anytime soon. What can we do to really start reaching out to all those parents and children and letting them know what it is they can do to help the child recover?
Sure.
Recover, quote unquote.
So, children and adults are interested in this, and one of the things, before you chelate, you want to remove amalgams. You don't want to redistribute the mercury through the body, so you'd go to maybe IAOMT.org, find a good dentist who can do it properly, because you don't just want someone to drill them out. You need outside air, you need a dental dam. Some dentists go so far as to cover the entire face. The better you can do that safely. So that would be step one. And then step two, there's lots of different things. Andy Cutler, he was in the film. He went to PhD from Princeton University, really smart guy, has a protocol. And that's actually what Eric used to basically cure himself. He did, I think it was DMSA first, just to get it, to reduce his body burden. And alpha lipoic acid is where he started to see his symptoms go away. And
Michelle, I can add to that. It's amazing watching the movie tonight because my experience parallels that as well. Andy Cutler's book, he talks about these things, about starting with DMSA, if you just had your fillings removed, letting 3 months go by, because you're looking at, it's not just how much mercury is in your body, it's how much mercury is in your brain versus body burden. And so Andy Cutler was a PhD, I'm a PhD myself, he was poisoned, and he developed this chelation method by using compounds that have a double thiol, according to pharmacological half-life. In other words, when you take an aspirin, you know you're supposed to take it every 4 to 6 hours. Well, by taking the chelators in a regular interval, you're keeping the level of mercury coming out very constant. It's like a dusty old house. You don't just want to kick up all that dust at once. You almost get sicker, right? So you take it off, you take it out of the body in an even fashion.
TACA, we're affiliated with MAPS doctors. It's Medical Advisory Physicians of Special Needs. They were similar to Dan doctors, like that Dr. Stephanie Cave that was in the film is a MAPS doctor, and they just actually released some information stating that the accumulative effect of the trace amounts of mercury today with the Tdap given at pregnancy and the flu vaccine still within all of those vaccines, they're accumulating almost the exact same effect that they were for those kids way back in 2000. So the accumulative effect, there
you're
are
looking at
trace
prenatal
amounts.
exposure too, which is
It's
much
huge.
more
It's huge.
damaging.
They do not make a tetanus shot anywhere in the world that does not contain trace amounts of thimerosal. Anywhere. TACA is a nonprofit organization, Talk About Curing Autism, and what we do is we offer support, help, and resources. And I know I personally go into schools and I teach autism tolerance trainings. So I know there's a lot of grassroots efforts. I don't know if there's any larger movement, but we service 40,000 families in the U.S. and we have 27 chapters in 27 states. So, we do the best we can. We're all moms with kids that are affected.
So
we love
much.
help.
Can you just state the whole food, what you said about what was available in
Oh, alpha lipoic acid. That will break through the blood-brain barrier and help bring it out. There's a specific protocol, like the every 4 hours. 5 micrograms, 5 milligrams?
It depends. It can vary. I can't remember offhand what percentage, but I can give you an example. I weigh about 170 pounds, and I would take about 8 milligrams every 3 or 4 hours. And that's in the book Fight Autism and Win, and it's also in Andy Cutler's protocol. It's also important to know that you might have alpha lipoic acid doses and standard supplements on the order of 50 milligrams, which could actually be very dangerous. It's funny how people will talk about the autism community and saying, oh, these methods are unproven and they're dangerous, but yet you will have this much in a supplement just sitting on a shelf in your vitamin shop. So it's something to be very careful of. It's something I know myself. Many of my friends who are dentists who are recovering from working with mercury all these years, you could actually poison yourself by taking too much of it. So it's very important to read the protocol in its
Yeah.
entirety.
Yeah, you want to be very careful. I did 5 milligrams every 4 hours after I had the fillings removed, and I started to feel weird. I actually stopped doing it because I was like, ah. And I wasn't working with a doctor, but I again stress, work with somebody while you're doing this.
The CDC in 2000 did recommend the removal of thimerosal in vaccines. They couldn't mandate it, or else it would be admitting fault, and then they would have to go back and back pay, and there's no plausible way for them to do that. So I think, they had stated in there, Jim Moody, the lawyer, had stated that it's just, they can't stop now. Like, you can't go back and say society's not going to be okay with it. So I think the CDC is they're going to have to try and keep covering it up. So.
Yeah, I mean, there's liability reasons, and then there's also, they thought people would stop getting vaccines.